Hi, I'm Jim Morrow, I'm a performance engineer in the Oracle Server Technologies group, and with me is...
G'day, my name is Brendan Gregg. I work for Oracle, especially in performance on the Oracle Sun Storage appliance.
And we're here to talk about a book that we're co-authoring on Solaris Dynamic Tracing, or DTrace. Brendan and I both have some history here. I've co-authored a couple books with other folks on Solaris internals, and I co-authored Solaris internals and performance tools with Brendan. So we've collaborated on writing in the past, and we decided that we absolutely need a DTrace book, but we need a DTrace book done right.
That's right. And with DTrace is a, if you haven't used DTrace yet, it's a tracing framework that lets you examine anything across the application and kernel. And since it has such incredible scope, it's quite a complicated project to take on, to write a book that covers DTrace.
Yes.
And we want to cover all the different areas that you can use DTrace on. It's really challenging to do.
It is.
And having someone like Jim involved is excellent, because you've taken on a project of this magnitude before, and that was writing Solaris internals.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and yeah, so I'm a little bit crazy for doing it again. But and then what Brendan brings to the table not only is his incredible depth of knowledge, but the fact that he doesn't sleep more than 4 hours a week, so he's been able to generate a lot of content in a relatively short amount of time. But getting back to the book.
So with DTrace, it's not just Solaris, so DTrace is also on Mac OS X and FreeBSD.
Right.
And again, we want to do it right, and it's been fun to see it work on other operating systems and to include examples. But to start with, there is a DTrace reference out there. We're not writing the DTrace reference. That's the DTrace guide, which is on wikis.
I think it's still .sun.com, yeah.
Wikis.sun.com at the moment. There might be wikis.oracle.com. And that's where the DTrace has been documented by the 3 engineers that created DTrace primarily, which is Brian Cantrell, Mike Shapiro, and Adam Levinthal. And they've done a great job explaining, providing a reference along with a lot of examples for what DTrace is, the syntax, and the key providers. What we wanted to do, and that's available, you can download it as a PDF for free. What we wanted to do is to show applied DTrace, using DTrace on applications, rolling a whole heap of scripts. In some ways, a DTrace cookbook.
Yeah, actually, Brendan, I think you really said it well when we first started talking about the project. What Brendan piped up with right out of the box was DTrace by example. Yeah. What we want this to be more than anything is anybody who buys this book will be sitting at their system and saying, well, I'd like to understand this thing that I'm seeing, and I'd like to use DTrace to do it, because DTrace can help me understand this thing I'm seeing. And they can open the book and find an example script or one-liner to look at exactly whatever it is they want to look at, whether it's a CPU or a disk I/O or a network I/O or a Java or whatever. So the book, first and foremost, is going to be loaded with scripts, just loaded with one-liners and loaded with scripts that walk you through a variety of different systems and subsystems on your computer.
This DTrace book is an opportunity for me to, based on all the years' experience I now have with that approach of teaching DTrace, to almost start again and to roll a DTrace Toolkit version 2 and come up with scripts in areas that I haven't DTraced before and really give complete coverage. It's been actually really exciting. There's a lot of scripts I've written for the book that are not in the DTrace Toolkit yet. I do need to fix that. But I've been much more aware that I'm writing scripts to help people learn DTrace, and so I've been quite thorough.
Yeah, it's been an interesting experience of mine as well in working on the book. Is I've written a lot of DTrace scripts over the years working on internal projects and customer performance problems. And you tell yourself you're going to save them all, but you don't actually save them all, right? So, but now working on the book, we're creating some stuff I've used before, some new stuff. As you begin writing it and you're thinking about it in terms of teaching somebody DTrace, it kind of gives it a somewhat different spin. So you're a little bit more careful about the scripts that you put together. And you end up creating some very interesting and very useful scripts that are useful in two dimensions. Again, in the dimension of teaching somebody DTrace, as well as actually using it to apply to a practical, real problem.
That's right. And a lot of the scripts I've been writing are practical. In fact, and I did want to bring up the DTrace Toolkit because some people might think I've just dumped a bunch of those scripts in there.
No.
Most of the scripts, more than half of the scripts,
are not in the toolkit.
Are not in the toolkit.
Right.
I've written from scratch because I want to give complete coverage of all different systems that I haven't done before.
Right, and by that same token, we're not taking the scripts that are in the the dynamic tracing guide and user demo DTrace. I mean, there's one or two variations of those scripts in there, but probably safely 80% or more of the scripts that are in the book are going to be scripts that don't exist anywhere else right now.
Yeah, that's right. And on terms of practicality, as I've been writing these, I've been discovering all these wonderful, cool things. I can now see latency for, let's say, synchronous write operations at the disk level, at the SCSI level, and so on. As I'm writing these, because I've now worked in performance before, but I'm now specifically working on a product, I'm also using the scripts to help with custom escalations and solve real problems. So at one point I'm writing them as fast as I can, and on the other hand, I'm using them in the real world as well to solve some really cool stuff.
Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of work.